Hey everybody, Michael Tracy here. There is an insane bill being considered in the California legislature that people ought to be aware of. The title of the bill is the California Political Cyber Fraud Abatement Act. That is a mouthful. Also, sort of amusingly euphemistic. Cyber fraud abatement? I mean, abatements have to do normally with, I don't know, tax law and zoning and sort of obscure stuff, but for some reason they decided to use that particular term in the title of this bill. The bill was introduced by a member of the assembly by the name of Ed Chow, who is a Democrat from Los Angeles. And the purpose of the bill is to criminalize or make unlawful the publication or circulation of any writing posted to an internet website that contains a false or deceptive statement designed to influence the vote on either of the following: an issue submitted to voters at an election or any candidate for election to public office. Now, the free speech implications of this ought to be pretty obvious to anybody who is mildly cognizant of such things. But let's just lay down a couple of reasons why this would be horrendously encroaching on the First Amendment. First of all, we don't want to empower the government to determine what constitutes a deceptive statement when it comes to political speech in the context of a political campaign. So, a candidate could decide to characterize as deceptive any attack on him or her that they don't like. Now, an attack could be misleading, it could be hyperbolic, it could be exaggerative, but exaggerating is about the supposed awfulness of a political rival. It is as old as the Republic itself, and to make that into a criminal offense would be hugely stifling, because where's the line between caricature and deception? Why is it that this is being narrowly tailored to internet speech as opposed to other forms of speech which could be just as harmful to somebody's reputation? Well, the reason why it's tailored to internet speech is because, very clearly, this is an effort to counteract quote-unquote fake news. Now, this has been a big preoccupation among media elites and the political class ever since the 2016 election last November. People think that the collapse of faith in institutions is attributable to this scourge of fake news that is somehow giving people the impression that, I don't know, the people in power are not trustworthy. Gosh, I don't know how they would come to that conclusion other than being, manipulated by these fake news onslaughts. So we've seen moves at the state level here and there to try to stamp out this problem, or alleged problem, and one of them is to use the power of the states to punish the publication of what is fake news, what is considered fake news. Number one, it's almost never a good idea to give the government additional powers to regulate speech, or especially political speech, which is expressly protected under the law. And that's doubly concerning when the government must be the arbiter of what constitutes speech that is punishable by criminal law. And this has really disturbing implications. And I'm sure the people that are proposing this kind of thing have good intentions. They don't want to see outright fabrications and deception proliferate on the internet unchecked. But the way to address that issue generally is not through the wielding of criminal law. That's always almost always an excessively blunt instrument in this arena. So the Electronic Frontier Foundation, who's always at the forefront of protecting rights in the digital sphere, just kind of outlines some of the potential issues with this bill, and I'll link to their post in the description box. But for one thing, they say that they know that this bill makes no exception for satire or parody, meaning The Onion or Saturday Night Live potentially, or anybody, some guy on Twitter, is susceptible to accusations of furnishing illegal content per the strictures in this particular proposed bill. Even potentially a news organization that quotes a deceptive statement could be susceptible to criminal punishment. So this is so overly broad that there are probably ways they could make it a little more narrowly tailored so that it wouldn't just be so preposterously unconstitutional. But the underlying premise is also flawed, meaning that we should rely on the state to stamp out political untruths. I think that is a recipe for manipulation and for abuse. And it's at its essence. So go take a look at that bill. It was actually set to be considered before a subcommittee in the California Assembly yesterday, but was withdrawn without explanation by the sponsor, Chow. That doesn't mean that the bill is necessarily dead, but it is a good indication of where trends are heading in this area, and people should be aware of that. So that'll do it for now, and everybody have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day.